You're listening to Inside Real Estate, your source for all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insights directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Sit back, enjoy the show. This is Paul Apostolakis. You've got Brad Weisgerber. We are Inside Real Estate. Today we are missing Salvatore. He's on hiatus, but for those of you that have found us, thank you for listening to our show. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. You can find us on irepodcast.com. You can go to Facebook.com/IRE Podcast or anywhere that you listen or consume your podcast listening pleasure. Today we have a really special guest, Brad. We have a really, really special guest.
I'm not the guest.
You're not the guest. No, we got Mr. Matt Ishbia on the show today. He is the president and CEO of United Wholesale Mortgage. He also won a championship with Michigan State basketball. He is one of my favorite people to have on the show. He always is gracious enough to do the show. So without further ado, I'm just going to bring him on so that we can get him on and off the show. I know he's a very busy man. Matt, thank you for doing the show again. It's a big deal.
Love being here with you guys. I always love chatting business, talking real estate, mortgage, everything.
Yeah. So last time we had you on the show, obviously, I was listening to it the other day, and we were talking about the whole, the Quicken thing, the UWM thing. How did you guys do in the second quarter? Because you made a proclamation that you guys were going to do really well in the second quarter last time you were on the show. So how did everything turn out?
Yeah, no, it's turned out better than even expected. Brokers are winning. We're winning at UWM. Quite honestly, it's going excellent across the board. And so clients understand what we're talking about, how we're doing things. And I think that obviously we're a public company now, and so is, Rocket or Quicken or whatever. They went down 20%. We went up 20%. We do a lot of purchase, as you know, just like you guys dominate in purchase. That's where we specialize. And so that's the reality. And so we had our best quarter of all time. So 35 years in business, best quarter of all time. And we're going to probably top it this quarter. So we're going to keep growing.
That's amazing. So Brad, I mean, we talked about this. That's amazing. I was like, well, I wonder how this is all going to work out, but it really worked out swimmingly. It looks like, and it's really a testament, Matt, more than anything, to your business, the business model, and how you guys handle your business, I think.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. It's obviously an unconventional way of doing things. We said Fairway and Rocket. You guys are doing some bad things to brokers, and if you want to work with UWM, the best mortgage wholesale lender, you can't work with them. And I think some people took it the wrong way originally, and then eventually everyone figured out. And obviously, those two lenders, Fairway and Rocket, came out and said things were going great for them, swimmingly, is using your word, but it didn't go swimmingly for them, because the reality is they weren't doing right. And we were, and we are, and that's why we're growing, and brokers are growing, and people that work with them, they're doing less business. And so that's the way we think about it. And we're excited to continue to grow and, accelerate the growth of our partners, the mortgage brokers that are all in, that really care about the long-term strength of the business, consumers going forward.
What percentage of the market do the brokers have right now, Matt?
About 20%. 1 in 5 mortgages is how I usually explain it.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's still a lot of room to grow.
So much room. And we think in the next 5 years, they'll get to 1 in 3. So 33%. So by 2025, let's get it to 1 in 3 loans through mortgage brokers. That will happen by educating consumers, educating realtors that, there's a difference between mortgage brokers are not all non-bank lenders, educating realtors and consumers. And at the same time, helping recruit loan officers to the channel to join your company, Paul. I mean, Paul, they work with you guys. They can wow realtors, wow consumers, give better rates and make more money. Like, why would they not be with you? And so those 3 things are going to happen, and we're going to see the channel grow.
It's really interesting. Go ahead, Brad.
How does the 20% of the market today compare to, say, 5 years ago? Has it grown?
Yeah, it's grown quite a bit. I think it was around 12 to 13% about 5-6 years ago.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah,
it's grown a lot. And it will continue to grow. And actually, it's a little deflated right now. That's the right way of saying it, because of all the refinance. If you do if it's more purchase business in the market, brokers are probably closer to 25 to 30% of purchases, but only probably 15% of refis. And since it's more refi, that's why they're weighted down, because all the servicer to servicer refinances. So the brokers are growing. Independent companies. It's independent companies that are not, that can actually choose. You have the choice to use us or other lenders. That option is growing, and people are going to continue to win.
Do you are you looking forward to the day that rates come up a little bit? Because to kind of, do you see what I mean? Like almost like because it'll become more purchase heavy that way at the end of the day as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I talked about in the second quarter when I did my earnings call, it was a glimpse into the future. Rates went up just a little bit, 2.8 to 2.99, just a little bit. And Rocket went down. Everyone went down in business. Loan Depot, everyone went down, and UWM went up. We actually win in a purchase market because that's what we're best at, just like that's what you guys are best at your company. And we're aligned with people like yourself that are best at purchases. And so when rates go up, the rest of these guys that look really great during the refi boom aren't that great. The real mortgage companies show, and that's where we'll show. But right now, when rates are low, hey, man, we'll take advantage of it just like everyone else. We'll take care of a lot of clients. We're good with that. We're going to have like I said, we're going to have our best quarter of all time this quarter. We're going to beat the second quarter. And so we'll continue to grow in either environment.
Now you were on Jim Cramer and you talked about your margins, right? And how you control your margins. Talk to the audience about why that's important.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. The people that don't understand the market, they said, "Oh, the margins collapse. What are you going to do about the margins?" I did that. That was my decision. The rest, everyone else can follow us. We choose. And what we did is said, "Hey, it's best for loans to go through a broker channel for consumers, right?" And the reality is, I told you guys when our margins were 300 in the fourth quarter, that was a moment in time. That's not real. That wasn't a real time. That was a moment in time. 80 basis points, less than 100 basis points is more realistic, especially in this market right now. And so, hey, give the brokers the best rates. They can offer them to the consumers. They can show realtors, I got my best rates, and the retail lenders can't compete. And it's creating a lot of pressure on those guys, and obviously creating pressure on my wholesale competitors, which is great because quite honestly, we're playing a game that says we want to grow. We want brokers to grow. It's not about maximizing profit. Let's go win. Money follows success, and that's what we're focused on.
Do you see any banks exiting the mortgage market? Because I know they don't do. Because as it gets competitive, either they're going to consolidate or buy other companies, or they're going to try to move into maybe the broker market. What do you see happening with the banks as it gets tighter and tighter?
Yeah, so banks are a great part of the American economy in so many ways. In mortgage, there's a specialist. There are non-banks. There are people that dominate mortgage, right? It's like a general practitioner or doctor. You go to your general doctor for everything, but when you want a knee surgery, you go to the knee surgeon. Mortgage is a knee surgery. You don't go to your main doctor. And so banks are going to continue to lose ground. That's not even a question. I think it used to be, I can't believe non-banks are almost 50%. Well, it's going to be 60, it's going to be 70 because they can't be great at everything. It's not that banks are bad. These big Wells and Chase, JP, Bank of America, great companies. But the reality is the people that specialize in mortgage are the places you want to get your mortgage. So once every 3, 4, 5 year type thing, you don't go to, you don't need to go to your bank for that. And so they go to independent mortgage brokers, findamortgagebroker.com. They go to places like yourself, Paul, Brad, and you guys find them the best deal. And that's what's going to continue to happen.
That's awesome. Yeah. So now that, you've got a network of brokers across the country that work with UWM and they're doing a really good job. A question that had come up is how does one broker under UWM or there's obviously multiple lenders that they can use, but let's just say the ones that are using UWM, how can one broker that's using UWM that's next door to the other and kind of like differentiate themselves? What is going to differentiate the broker from each other broker, or do you even care about that? Is that even something that you're worried about?
No, absolutely. So this, first off, you could be a block away. You guys, where you are, a block down the street.
There's another one. Yeah.
Yeah. A broker that uses UWM also. But you guys are so different. Every model is different. And so, you're not really competing because the great majority of the business in your market gets done by Chase and Wells and Rocket and Fairway and Guaranteed Rate. That's just the reality because they're 80% of the market, the retail players. Yeah. And so I don't really think there's much, like when brokers become 1 and 2 loans, 50% of the market, I think this will be a lot bigger question that you're talking about. Right now, I think about it as, hey, how do you market? How do you get your clients? How do you differentiate with client service? What's your process at your company? There are very few companies that I see. We have, 10,000 plus brokers. There's very few companies that run their business the same way. I don't care if you're a block away. You don't really come across, occasionally you run across a client, you're going to real estate shop and they're going to real estate shop. They work with UWM, you work with UWM. Okay, does that really happen that often? If it does, like what's the difference? The difference is Paul versus Bill versus Jenny, whoever it may be. It's a people business, and so you have to differentiate yourself that way.
Yeah. What do you see as far as technology? Should brokers be looking at technology right now to kind of set themselves apart, to kind of catch up, or is this something that you look at yourself and kind of put that onus on UWM and say, we're going to provide that technology, right? You see what I mean? Like, because you could either provide it, and you guys do provide a lot of great technology, let's be honest. Or do you kind of put the onus on the broker on some level to say, okay, well, you guys also need to like kind of be looking at technology and kind of embracing that for your borrowers?
So I'll answer it this way, that I put the onus on brokers to embrace the technology, but I put the onus on me to create it. Right?
Got it.
And so because the reality is, the reason brokers are better is because they are cheaper and faster and easier for consumers. Okay. Faster and easier is a product of what UWM does along with what you guys do at your company, Paul and Brad. Right? That's simple. Cheaper is a product that you have less overhead. You're not doing 800 commercials a month, right? You're not spending millions upon on technology. What I can do is I can spend hundreds of millions, if not billions, on technology and democratize it across all brokers. And therefore, you don't have to pay for it. So when rates change, rates go up a little bit, your margins get compressed like everyone else's. You can still be profitable and successful running your business so you can still serve consumers. And so I believe a lot of times brokers try to get over their skis, or even any companies, they get over their skis a little bit, trying to invest in this, invest in that, invest in that. Next thing you know, they got, some huge monthly bills coming in. They have to close 20 loans just to break even. And that's not a good model, because you want to be able to be very nimble in a technology infused world.
Yeah. Having a partner like you providing that, and I like the way you put that, democratizing it, right? Where it's everybody kind of is part of the same family. So that's interesting. So there were some questions about AIM and the Association of Brokers. How's that going? Is that something that is continuing to grow? Because I know that obviously having a coalition like that protects the broker is really important. And I know that you've been a big proponent of that in the past. Do you see that continuing to grow?
Yeah, I do. I think, the AIM is a great group. They actually are out there. They care about brokers. It's the only group out there that cares about brokers, right? They're for mortgage brokers.
Yeah.
The bigger thing besides AIM is the community, right? Like Paul and Brad, you guys are leaders in your area, but you know what? The guys in Clarkston or the guys in Toledo, Ohio, they need to connect with you, and you guys sharing ideas and being part of this community where you can help. Oh, how you buying leads? How you paying your processors? Hey, what do you do on this? Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't talk to realtors like that. That community is really where AIM thrives and really where the broker community thrives. And so that's what we're big on at UWM. We have our success track trainings. We have about 200 to 300 loan officers come here every single week to get trained. Loan officers and processors and owners, to be clear.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that people like better, is the community. And so AIM provides that housing of a community where people go. And so there's the big event next month in Las Vegas where I'm actually speaking at, and it's a real positive thing. You see 4,000 loan officers or brokers out there, and it's just a community of positivity around brokers, because brokers used to have nothing. They used to be independent and out there, and no one cared. Everyone just, lenders used to buy their loans, investors, were buying their loans. Now we have partners. We're a partner. We want them to grow, and they care about each other. So it's been really positive.
That's awesome. Now I know that, consumer direct is something that brokers really, brokers are awesome at realtor relationships and all that, right? It's a place where a company like Rocket did really well, is they were really figured out how to get to the consumer first, right? Brokers have historically not been able to really crack that code. So what do you see anything coming down the pike that will give brokers more visibility on getting to the consumer first?
Yeah, so there's the education of consumers, right?
Yeah.
Consumer calls into a TV commercial, whether it's Rocket, whether it's Guaranteed Rate, Loan Depot. It's just like, you might as well say, hey, here's a couple extra $1,000 for me calling this number, right? You're
Correct.
wasting. It's just a waste of money, right? People and everyone knows it. It's everyone in the industry knows it. People that do it once every 4 years
don't know.
Why would they know it? That's not their world. Just like I don't know the best way to buy a car because I do it once every 4 years. I bet there's a better way. I got to be educated, right?
Right.
And so we have to educate people on that. Consumer direct for brokers, there are a lot of brokers that do it that way, but they're buying leads or they're marketing their area. It's hard to do on a national scale. And so there are some things coming. We're trying to do more. Findamortgagebroker.com. We have a phone number, 1-800-BROKERS, where we're getting calls and we're live transferring them to brokers. But the reality is it's an evolution, not a revolution, right? It's going to take time. We're going to continue to do it. But if it's always faster, easier, and cheaper with a broker, which it is, then it will win. What's best for the consumer in the end will win. It just takes time. How fast can we make it happen? 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, that's all on us. But it will win what's best for the consumer.
I know you're really big on giving consumers the best option, and being the best option over time will grow that business regardless. If you do the right business, I know that you're big on that. So that kudos to that. And I know that turn times are really important. Are you guys keeping up with turn times? I know that you guys are overstaffed by design almost always. and you guys have the best turn times in the industry and the most consistent. So how do you look at that, and how do you continue to do that as you guys grow?
Yeah, so it's just a strategy, right? It's you take care of it. What matters faster, easier, cheaper. I say it all the time because that's what you are at your company, and that's what brokers are throughout America. And if I said it's cheaper and it's easy, but it's slow, no one wants slow, right? Like, so we have to deliver that. And so, yeah, we're always 25% overstaffed, 20 to 25% where I can handle more business. We're having record days. I mean, it's crazy. This might be our biggest month in company history, in August, but the quarter, as I've said, I think will be the best quarter of all time. The reality is no one's working overtime over here. We're knocking things out. We're dominating. You guys submit loans to us. We're knocking loans out in hours. Next day, if we're slower, it's next day. It's going great. That gives you certainty. So when you talk to that real estate partner, it's like, hey, let me tell you, I can do this thing. Here's what I need. Here's the 4th thing. We can close it in 9 days. And what we've seen is a lot of real estate agents love working with brokers that work with UWM because, boom, they get it done, and they know it's almost as good as cash. 15 days, no contingencies. I mean, it's that simple, especially if you get appraisal waivers.
Why is it so hard for your competition to catch up to you? Because you're so far ahead on a lot of this stuff. So, like, Caliber.
It's pretty crazy how much the difference between UWM and these other places. And
stark.
The funny thing is 10 years ago, Matt, none of this was like this with UWM. UWM was fairly small, working out of an old shopping mall, right?
Right.
And these companies have been around for quite a while, and you've just widened that gap so much as far as service, speed, technology. It's crazy. So why can't they catch up? If you can do it in such a short amount of time, why can't they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for the kind words, Brad. I appreciate it because you probably see a lot of different lenders and see what it's like. The reality is we care. We're all in on this focus, right? Like, we're not focused. We didn't build this business on how much profit we can make. We built it on how do we win? How do we help brokers win? Money follows success. Too many people, when investing in a business, always sit there and count their dollars. Oh, we made $1 million. Okay, let's take it off the table. Instead of saying, how do we turn that million into 100 million? Right? How do we double down and invest? And too many of these companies are short-sighted. They're private equity owned. They're in it for a minute. We're in it for the long term. I've been in the business 35 years. I've been here, 18 plus years now. And we're going to continue to grow. And so I like hearing that. It makes me a little sad because I want you guys to have multiple great options. But the truth is, they're not going to catch up because they don't have the focus and attention. You actually have to do this for a living all day, every day. I did it for 18 years to get here. We're going to do it for the next 18 years to continue to grow. And so, our technology is the differentiator. We have 1,200 people. We're building stuff all day. The other thing I'll say, which will help your business or real estate professionals as well, is the extreme focus on being great at one thing is a differentiator. You mentioned Caliber, I think, Brad, and they're a good company, but they have retail and they have wholesale and they have correspondent, they have a servicing. They want to do everything. And smart people. Their CEO, Sanjeev, I actually like a lot. He's a really smart, great guy. But if you're trying to do 4 things great and I only got to do 1 thing great, you can't beat me. You can't beat me if I'm focused on it. And that's the same thing with your business. Like, are you trying to do, mortgages, and are you trying to do title and real estate and trying to do 18 things, or are you just dominating the best mortgage company in Michigan? And that's what you want to be, right? And so I think focus is a big difference.
Focus. Yeah. We got a question here from Jason Andreas. It's really long, but I'm going to sum it up. Basically, I'm curious as to why culture plays such an important role for you and how it helps UWM continue to win and support brokers and consumers. You can take that down, by the way, Natalia, so we can see it. So why is culture such a big part of UWM, and is that going to continue?
Yeah, it's a huge part of our success. There's so many great companies out there that focus on people. I mean, when you think about the companies that are known for that, like Google and these other companies out there that care about people and they've done things, they kind of led the way. And then we and did some great things. And then we said, how do we make it even better and make it really tied into the state of Michigan and Metro Detroit? How do we make this the best place to work? And so, but it's all about culture. It's all about people. And we're a people business. I don't have some patent. I don't have some lower rates guaranteed from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I have better people. We do it in a better way. And we want to make sure that it's all about getting the best people on our team. And then we invest in ourselves and our team members each day. And so culture is everything at an organization, I think. And I think a lot of people, back to our point about people focusing on money, we were talking about that. People don't see it. Like, how do you tangibly hold people in your culture? It's like people don't get it. And if you're a private equity type company or a company only focused on money, you don't focus on the people. And it's a key in being a successful company.
It's a huge part of your company. I mean, you walk into the office, Matt, and you feel it. You talk to people at your company and you feel it. There is a culture of winning. There's a culture of happiness. There's a culture of work-life balance. The culture that you've built over there is really, really impressive. And speaking of that, your building is a big part of that, right? It's a huge part of having everybody in the same building. So now that, COVID is subsiding, and are people coming back to the office now? Are things going back to normal in the office?
Yeah. We have all 9,000 people in our office every day now. We're no more working from home. Everyone's here. It's been that way. We started bringing people back in June, 100%. And then by July 15th, I think we had 100% of our people back. So we're all here together, working together. The collaboration is so much better when people are here. It's crazy to even imagine that we had a good year last year because just couldn't do it. The culture, the team. Here's what I think. If you have no culture, right, and you have really no teamwork, then like working from home is going to work forever for some companies, right? That's the reality. But if you have a team and you care about like really investing in people and really trying to build something special, you really need your people back. Maybe it's not all in one building like I have, but you got to start having some collaboration because it's just not the same over Zoom.
No, and I would agree with that, especially when you're trying to build something as big as you are. The culture is going to be really big. So that's interesting. Another question that we had gotten was from someone that I know. Basically, now that you guys have gone public, now that you probably have a lot more control over your business, product wise, are you planning on coming out with more products for the broker community? Some more unique products, jumbo product, whatever it may be. I know you guys came out with a really good jumbo. Excuse me, but just a 40-year loan, for instance. Would you do that? Right, like something like that.
So I'm open to everything. So the way I look at it is it's got to be the quality loan. So I don't go low on the credit spectrum. I'm not doing people 2 days out.
Right.
Like we're not trying to be that type of company.
Right.
What we basically did as part of this year and part of the all-in strategy and all the things we talked about was, hey, listen, we got to be able to be almost everything to all these brokers. They have 70 plus lenders to work with. They have plenty of great lenders out there. But instead of maybe 60% of the loans fitting our box, 65, how do we make it so 90, 95%? So we roll out manufactured homes. We lowered our FICO adjustments on government down. So we went down to 620 on the government. That's as low as I feel comfortable going. We rolled out ARMs. We rolled out a great jumbo program. We're going to roll out another enhancements to the jumbo product. We're going to continue to do things.
Yeah.
And then to your point on 40-year or interest only, like some of those things are non-QM, but non-QM with quality. And so non-QM with quality, I'm more open to, but there's got to be a big enough market, right? We're looking at a lot of different things. How do we expand? But I want to make it so that, hey, our good partners, hey, I got a client. I want to be able to deliver it and close it in 10, 12, 15 days. So UWM's got to be able to handle 90, 95% of my business, which means there's only a few products that we don't offer. But if you have any ideas, Paul, Brad, email me. I would love ideas. If you see someone doing something that you need, I can roll it out. I got some things in my head, but I'd love your ideas.
I love it. I love it.
I wouldn't expect much from us because we don't like to do a lot of those loans either. So we got the same kind of model as you.
Yeah, Matt.
Make a lot of sense.
We're just basically copying what UWM does. No.
Hey, you guys are doing a heck of a job. I see what you guys are doing, and you're doing a heck of a job. One of the best in the country at what you guys do.
Appreciate it, Matt. So, Matt, now that you're public, obviously, it's interesting what's happened to your stock price. I don't feel like your stock price is, and I said this last time we were on the show, I don't think it mirrors where the company is as a company. So, I mean, I know you don't watch it every day. You can't watch it. You'll lose your mind. But as far as your stock price goes, do you think you're undervalued still?
Oh, for sure we're undervalued. That's without a question. But the reality is this is what I had to learn in the last 6 months. Like the stock price and the company are two unique things.
Yes.
Right? The stock, like we're killing it. The stock goes down. We struggle. The stock went up. They don't know. Right. I'll tell them. I'll explain things. It will take 3 to 6 quarters of us being public before the public really understands, okay, UWM's the elite mortgage company. And they saw a little bit in the second quarter, but they don't understand, right? The reality is people just don't understand because I don't go out there publicly and talk. So it's slowly happening. After quarter after quarter. I was on Jim Cramer's show. I told you, I was talking to him the first time I met him in March. He was asking me all these things. He said, I go, how about this? Second quarter is going to be our best quarter of all time. Bring me back on your show and hold me accountable. And he just did. And He said, hey, you told me you would do it. I said, I got to do that for 3 or 6 more quarters where they say, when Matt says X, it's going to be X or X plus 1. And then they'll start to get it and realize that our company, undervalued, overvalued. Listen, we pay a great dividend. We're a great company. We are the best mortgage company in America. I know that. And so how do we continue to evolve and make it so investors understand that? It's a process. It's not going to happen over one day.
Not with you having so much market share compared to where you were 10 years ago, hypothetically, right? It's easy to gain market share 10 years ago as opposed to today, gaining that extra 5% in market share becomes much harder, right? So what do you see as far as you gaining market share? Is it getting harder? Do you see yourself just continuing to grow at the pace that you've been growing, or is this something that you have a huge focus on?
Yeah, well, it's a big focus of mine, but it's maybe focused in a little different way. So of course, it's harder when you have 3% market share. It's easy to go to 4% or 5%. It's only a little bit.
Correct.
Right? You grew your market share you just doubled your market share from 3 to 6%. Great job. Well, I'm at 30+%, 35%, 33, but whatever the number is. Going to 33 to 36 is hard, right? Doubling my market share is almost impossible if you think of it that way.
Yes.
But here's how I'm playing it. And this is part of the all-in mentality, which is like, hey, I'm going to focus on growing my partners' market share, help you grow. So you guys do a heck of a job, and I'm going to keep earning your business, but I need you to go from doing 50 loans to 70 loans, or 70 loans to 200 loans, 200 loans to 400 loans. How do I help you guys grow? And that's why I want to know who was on the team, who's all in with the broker channel, who actually cares.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you guys grow. And so I'm going to help you recruit. We have a partner service team, help you recruit, help you get licensed, help you market, help you train, like everything to help you grow. And so as you get better with real estate agents and they realize that you're best and consumers, then I got a shot to grow. And so I've kind of changed my mentality. Like my market share is going to follow your market share. So I got to help the brokers win, and then UWM will win too.
Now you're offering obviously all this stuff for the brokers to win. What onus do we have as the brokers to match that, right? That because if we have a partner like you who's really working hard on our behalf, what is the responsibility now on us to try to match that and try to match that intensity for you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. Well, the way I would say is you have two responsibilities as my partner, right? Like one we talked about was like, hey, be all in, like care about the channel, not just yourselves, care about what's best for consumers, which are working with mortgage brokers. So that's one responsibility. The other responsibility is realize that I'm your partner. And so that means tell me what I got to do to help you. Like you just talked about products, give it to me. Tell me what I got to do to help you, because I care about what you guys actually need. And so I don't know everything, but if you know what you can use. And so what will help you in Michigan probably helps the guys in New Mexico, probably helps the guys in Florida also. Like I want to help everybody. And so the responsibility is care about it like I care about it. Like care about your growth or your success, because guess what? I care about it. I want you to win. And if you win, I got a shot. And so we're real big on that. I love when brokers come out to our success track trainings, because I think they learn and it shows that they're trying to get better. Whether it's an inch or a mile, they're getting a little bit better.
Yeah, it is interesting. And Brad, we see that a lot. We see other companies doing a lot of things that, but it is our responsibility at the end of the day to grow our channel, our little piece of it, right?
Yeah, and whatever we can do to help, it's like it's on me more than on you, but that's why I like positivity. You know me, Paul, Brad.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're not perfect. You're not gonna be perfect. Someone said to me the other day, actually, it was actually last week, said, hey, I've seen some negative things about UWM online. I said, well, you saw that negative stuff on a broker post, but there's also 32 positive posts. But we do more loans by a 10x multiple, so you're gonna see 10x positive. Maybe 5x negative, because that's the reality. But so I love the positive things and you sharing and leading, because other loan officers don't know if they don't work with UWM.
So if you had to choose the weakest point of the UWM's business right now that needs the most work, what would you say that is?
The weakest point of UWM's business. So I feel like we're the best we've ever been. I think that right now. That's fair. I really think from ops, pricing, technology, everything's the best. I think the weakest part is maybe explaining to people on complex loans how we think about it, right? Because we follow rules. So someone gave us some stuff on the AMC stuff, a year and a half ago when we had to go through this process. I said, this is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's rule, not ours. But we're the first one that gets hit with it, so we actually have to implement it first. Same thing with like some of the guidelines and overlays. We do so many loans that we get audited. They said, oh no, this is how we want you to handle self-employed. Well, some of the smaller lenders might not have gotten that audit yet and don't know yet, and so we gotta get hit first. And so I tell people like, hey, if you think something's wrong, you let us know. And that's why our CR process is great. But I think the reality is this, people realizing that we care and that we're all in and that we're going to do everything we can to get all your business and help you get all the business. And once they see that, they'll understand. But that's probably the hardest thing is the complex loans, or, hey, I don't think UWM really likes a 652. I love a 652, but just realize there's some different guidelines and different rules. we got to button this up because we're not going to do loans if they're going to go bad. We're going to always do the right thing for consumers and our partners.
Yeah, you've always been big on that, Matt. Even when we were there early on, you were always very big on taking the well-performing, making sure that you take loans that perform well, that are going to be the good loans. You're not just throwing crap against the wall. So is that something that you for sure going to continue, right?
Yeah, it's the long-term approach. Like I could do more business today. If I dropped our FICO score and I did some different type of product, we could probably be number one next quarter overall. We could do a lot more business. It's not about doing more. It's about being the best. And we're going to focus on the right long-term play. And the long-term play is do the best loans for the best brokers. Make sure we do it flawlessly. I want it to be flawless. I want it to be the easiest mortgage you've ever had. And we're going to make that happen. And so to do a loan that's maybe not in that box and that might go delinquent, that's a great profitable play for the second or third quarter. It's not a good play for 2025. And I'm winning on 2025 right now.
Yeah. I noticed recently that you're still very involved with your championship team. You guys do a lot of stuff together. I know that you recently had a party at your house for a lot of the guys. I saw the pictures of that. So talk to me a little bit about, this is a little bit off topic, but how important was that experience for you, going through that, winning the championships, and obviously having that group of people around you?
Yeah, no, the Michigan State basketball family is such a big part of where I am and how I got here. And so having our families together and people together. So we spent a lot of time. I got a lot of my great teammates work here at UWM, from Mateen Cleaves to Charlie Bell, Adam Wolf, Connor George, a newer guy. He didn't play with me, but it's a family. He just graduated recently. But so many of my great friends are from Michigan State basketball, along with people I learned so much. I learned so much from Coach Izzo, of course. And a lot of our coaches were actually at a family reunion at my house where they all brought their kids and my teammates. Some of my best friends like Jason Andreas were there, Adam Wolf, Mateen Cleaves was there, obviously. But then people I don't know as well, right? I'm sure you saw online. Draymond Green came. I don't know Draymond that well. He came. He's younger than me, but these guys were there as well. And so many great friends. Jason Klein, who played with me back only my freshman year, Antonio Smith. And so the thing is, we stay together, we care about each other, and it's a big part of my success and at the same time, our company's success, because I learned all these things about family and team. Like when I'm talking about your company growing, that's because of team. Team matters. You're part of my team. I'm part of your team. That's Tom Izzo right there, right? I'm learning that from him, and it applies in the UWM mortgage business.
Yeah, it's funny how those experiences, especially in that time in our lives, it really does cause like mental shifts sometimes in your own brain. But you've always been competitive, Matt. I mean, you've always had that competitive spirit. Does that ever get did you ever get too competitive, Matt?
I don't think so. I don't think that's a thing. I think, I always want to get better as long as you play within the rules and you work hard. Like the way I look about it is like, I'm so competitive. I hate to lose, but when I lose or something doesn't go well, I don't sit and cry and sulk. What I say is I could have worked harder to make sure I don't lose again. And that's how I got here. Is I said, gosh, I hate losing. So I'm going to come in earlier and stay later and care more. And eventually I won't lose anymore. And that's kind of how I think about it. So, I love, the way I think about it, my dad used to say this to me, and I really believe, like, you show me someone that likes losing and I'll show you a loser. I don't like losing. It doesn't mean I can't handle losing. It just means I don't want to lose. I want to be better. I want to wow that client. I want to wow you on this loan. I hate hearing about something that doesn't go right, and I want to fix it. And as long as the mentality is constructive, like when you lose or something doesn't go right, you do something to make sure that doesn't happen again. That's what winners do, and that's what competitiveness does for me.
Is there something your competition is doing right now that is making you feel like, man, I need to get on that?
No, not at all. I'm very in the weeds. I know what my competition's doing, and there's nothing that they're doing that I think is better than us in any aspect. And at the same time, I know exactly what they're doing. And I'm not talking just about the big competitors. I'm talking about the little guys that you maybe don't even know they exist. I know what they do. I know what type of product they do. I know what kind of technology they use. And I want to make sure that I'm better than them. And of course, does someone win a loan from us? Of course. But at the same time, I know I can do better, and we have a lot of work to do. And so I'm focused on being the best version of UWM every single day, and we will continue to excel.
I know technology is a big part of what you're doing, Matt. I mean, how many people do you have on your technology team right now? You probably have a pretty large technology team.
Yeah, we have over 1,200 people here in our building every day,
Holy
not
crap.
Contractors, not anyone, building stuff for brokers. And you watch you're going to see in the next 45, 60, maybe 90 days, I got some big tech rollouts. They're going to change it. You're going to see it, Paul. First, you're going to see a couple, and you're like, wow, that's awesome right away. One of them or two, you're like, I don't know if that really makes sense. And they're going to say, whoa, that changes the game in a really positive way. We're doing some stuff that's really cool, and our tech team is doing an awesome job on it. So we're excited over the next 60, 90 days. To under promise, I'll say before the year's over, I got some big stuff coming.
I know if it was up to you, Matt, it'd be like in 30 days or whatever it is. Right?
Tomorrow. Yes.
It's always 60 to 90 days.
Yeah, 60 days. You know, Brad.
Yeah, I know.
Everything's 60 to 90 days.
What are we moving to the new building? 60 to 90 days.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, technology is a big part of, I think, our industry, man. I mean, I think going forward, if you're not a leader in technology, you're going to get left behind really quickly, in my opinion. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, the thing is, it's only going to become more and more in technology, right? And so technology makes things faster and easier. Nobody wants something slower and more complicated, right? Faster and easier is the game. And so if you keep investing in technology, so we're trying to widen the gap between us and our competition. But really, my gap I'm focused on is giving you a gap ahead of the retail guys, right? Ahead of Movement Mortgage or Fairway or whoever you're competing with. I need you to have better technology. And so that's the gap I'm really focused on widening right now. And that's the stuff that you're going to see coming and giving you guys. So when real estate agents, they already know you're best to work with, but they're going to be like, wow, it's so much better. Just like you said, and Brad, we're so much better than our competition. I want them to say the same thing about you guys. Oh, we used to refer a loan to a Bank of America. Man, I can't believe you guys are so much better over there at Omega, right? Like that's what I want to hear. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, we believe we already are. It's just getting the word out there sometimes. And that's the hardest part for us. I believe that Omega, for what it's worth, we are better primarily because we're really good at what we do, but we also partner well with our partners, right? Like we know how to navigate everything, and we do things very quickly and efficiently. But getting the word out there for us is the hardest part, is getting people, our name in people's mouths the most possible.
Well, that the fun part about that, Paul and Brad, is that's the fun job. Right?
Yeah.
Like being great is hard.
Yeah.
Telling everyone you're great. A lot of times you want to be humble, but you know what? Don't be. Go out there and market yourself. You get your loans. You come up here 9 days CTC. Get that on social media. Yeah. Print out flyers. Go to real estate shops. Show them. Here are the last 32 closings I had purchased. 9 days, 14 days, 22 days. Show it. Get it out there. Yeah. Tell your consumers to post on social media. Tell your real estate agent, post on, you got to get it out there. But that's the fun job. That's like pinning your ears back and going, running as fast as you can. Most people are sitting there trying to solve, man, our process sucks.
Yeah.
It takes 32 days. You got the fun job. You guys are already winning. Now you got to, throw gasoline on that fire.
I love that. I love that mentality. Go out there and spread the word as much as possible, right? Because it is true. We are the best option, Matt. Hands down. I think a broker is the best option for a consumer to go through. And you're really big on that. But can you talk to the audience and tell them why you think personally why the broker is the best option, other than what we've already talked about?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think it. I know it. So I know it for sure. This is my business. I don't know much in life, but I know this. Right? So it's going to be cheaper. So for a consumer, what matters is nobody wants a mortgage, right? Any consumer say, let's get a mortgage today, honey. Nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
They want to get the house. They want to save $82 on their payment. So the mortgage has to be fast, easy, and cheap. It's going to be cheaper with a broker over any of those retail lenders, over anybody. That's always going to be cheaper. And I hate to say always, so I'll say 99% of the time, okay?
Yeah.
It's going to be cheaper because brokers have less costs because they're not on TV. They're not spending, hundreds of millions of dollars building out. They have less costs, right? So brokers are going to be cheaper. And the other reason it's better is because the reality is you're making an impact in the local community with the independent mortgage broker, and it's faster and easier because you used to not have the technology. So cheaper, faster, and easier. 5 years ago, I couldn't tell you this. I couldn't say 100% sure of it. Now I can. It's not even a question anymore. The technology we've built, the people like yourself that have built your companies around what you've done in your community, I'm telling you, it's always faster, easier, cheaper through a broker. And if I'm a consumer, if the only thing you get from this thing is find a mortgagebroker.com or call, if you're in Michigan, you can call Omega, but wherever you got, but you got to find a local broker because they can shop on your behalf and get you a better deal. It's black and white. It's so obvious.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is, like you said, some of the competition just pays a lot of money in marketing, and they do have higher margins. And we know for a fact that they're high. I mean, for what it's worth, Rocket does have some of the highest rates in the industry. We know that, right? We just know that. But people keep going to that You know what I mean? Because they have
Because
the
they don't
marketing
know any
knowledge,
better, right? They don't know any better. And yeah, Rocket will tell you they have you can see their margins. They're a public company. They have the highest rates in the industry. They charge a lot of money.
Yes.
They're not the highest, but they are in the higher group, I'd say.
Yes.
Definitely higher than mortgage brokers. And
Yes.
it's obvious. We all know that. But of course, they'll spin it and they'll get PR written around and they'll do all the things. But that's what these, God bless them. That's what their job is. They're trying to build their business. The best part about your business, Paul, and all brokers is it's a great business, but it's also best for the end user, the consumer. And it's a really fun way to run a business where you actually care about the consumer, not just about profits.
Now, one thing that's happening is, Rocket is doing a lot of different parts. They're doing different businesses, right? They're selling cars. They're doing a lot of other stuff, right? You're just singular focused, and that's is that by design? Like, is that something that do you want to get into other stuff, or are you just going to stay singular focused?
There's so much upside in what we're doing. We're going to dominate this market. Singular focus doesn't mean I don't look at other things, but the reality is, what's gonna make a difference is growing the brokers, helping Omega, helping ABC, XYZ, whatever companies we can do to help them grow. That's the game. That's the real game. And so, of course, you can say, "Oh, well, diversify, do this and that." It's not gonna pay the bills, and it's not gonna help the business grow. And so a lot of those things are diversions and distractions, and a lot of times they don't actually make a lot of sense. And so what we focus on is dominating our business. If I hit the cap where it's like, gosh, you're at 50% market share, brokers are 50%, you're 50%, like you're kind of at the top you can go, then I might look at other things.
Yeah,
we're nowhere near that.
Yeah, so you're saying basically you've got a lot of you guys have legs still, right? So you might as well just keep it on that. Any plans ever on doing retail again?
No,
you're out on that.
Never. Why would I do it? It's better for a consumer. Like better for a consumer. Like I have 9,000 people. They should go to your company to get a loan. We're the best mortgage company in America. I believe that with my heart. And you can't get a loan here. You got to go to a broker, go to Omega, go to ABC, go to different companies throughout Metro Detroit or wherever you are. Yeah. It makes no sense to be in retail. It's the wrong play. It's bad for consumers. It's bad for our business. It's bad for doing the right thing. It's just not. We're never going to do it.
It's wild. It's wild that you have that mentality, because most other people in our industry have the mentality of, well, we can make more margin on retail. We can make more money. And so for you, it is a monumental shift in mentality where you were willing to lose some revenue to be singular focused and helping out the broker community, right?
Yeah, and absolutely. But here, let's just think about it. The reason everyone likes retail is two things. One, bigger margins. You make more money.
Correct.
Okay? I'm focused on doing the right thing. Money follows success.
Correct.
Second reason you love it is because the loan officers are captive. So if I suck today, Paul, you still have to send me all your loans. Well, that's what retail is. It's great because it's stickier. That's a lazy business owner's mind, right? That's what losers do. I want to have to be great every day. If I suck, send it someplace else. I'm going to be great every day. And it's like iron sharpens iron. You're getting better every single day. And so, of course, bigger margins and a guarantee of business sounds like a great business model. Yeah, well, not until we let the brokers grow and dominate the market and put those guys out of business, and then we'll win.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people really realize that is that you have to compete every day for our business, right? It isn't. Matt's not guaranteed to get Omega's business. He's not. We could very well go to somebody, but we are always looking for the best option for our people. And as long as you are the best option, that you're going to get that business, and that's what you believe in wholeheartedly, which is a shift from. You're not you know what's interesting, Matt, is you're not a money follows guy. You're not a money first guy. Like you've always kind of done the right thing regardless of the monetary flow of for you, which is interesting, which is very different in our industry. Most people are driven by money in our industry.
Yeah. I think it's all industries, sadly enough. It's the reality.
Yeah.
The
world, Paul.
World. Everyone always is like, follow the money. That's where the answer is. Like, yeah, but that's the 98% of people. But if you want to be special, you want to be the best, like focus on doing the right thing. Like think about it. You don't get any credit for giving money to different things and do different things and help people out. But you know what? It feels good and it does right. And good things happen to people that do good things. Do the right thing by people without any expectation of anything in return is a mentality I have. And we always do the right thing and good things happen. It's not, once again, we make plenty of money here. It's not like I'm over here struggling for money, but the whole point was we focus on succeeding and winning. And money will follow. And too many people focus on what's the return on investment. Like the ROI, never talked about it at this company. We'll never speak about that, the return on investment.
That's awesome. That is really interesting. And now that you're public, you've kind of gotten to this place in your business. Have you lost any like fervor because of that? Or are you even more ravenous because of it?
No, nothing's changed. I love it. I love it because, you know what?
It's awesome.
It's more people want to have eyes on us. And the way I look at it, like I told you earlier, more people are going to see we're dominating. I wouldn't have been on Jim Cramer's show and people wouldn't be seeing how much money. They wouldn't know what we make if we weren't public. Now they're going to see, like, gosh, you grew market share. Everyone else went down. Why? I love it. Put us on. It's the same concept in wholesale. Like, I got to be great every day. If I'm not great, everyone will talk about it. So now everyone's on the stage with me. Let's go. Let's compete. I love it.
You love and you love having the kind of like scoreboard up there, don't you?
He loves.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's the fun stuff, right? Getting better. You see where you stand, and if I go down, well, shoot, I got to work harder.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Let's get to 3 questions so we can get you in and out of here. Again, we appreciate you doing the show. First question that I have for you is: if you didn't play basketball, what other sport would you play?
Ooh, I like basketball is my favorite, but baseball would be my sport. Soccer I liked, and I love football now, but I didn't play in high school.
No. All right. That's interesting. Baseball. Did you play baseball in high school?
Yeah, I played baseball and soccer and basketball in high school, and then I eventually gave it up to just play basketball. But I love football still. I coach my kids' football, baseball, and basketball teams, so I love all those sports.
Oh, you coach? That's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah. How old are your kids again?
10, 8, and 6.
10, 8, and 6.
I coach all their teams. We're trying to win championships there too, but having fun too. So we do it all. It's great.
Yeah. We got a funny question from someone, but we'll skip that. So if you could live in any era other than ours today, so the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, what era would you want to be in and why?
That's a good question. I'd probably think back, I love the era we're in now, so I don't want to really move. But if I had to think of it, I would probably think about something in the 60s, because I think it was before a lot of the evolution of business, but also besides business, just the social development of things. It's so crazy what was going on back then and still goes on to this day in a lot of respects. And so I would have loved to have been part of the change in a positive way for those things back in the 60s.
That's awesome. If you could create anything that for your business, just and snap your fingers to have it happen, what would it be and why would you want that?
Well, if I could change anything, it would be educating consumers. That's the biggest one. Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest process. It's going to take the longest time. If I could snap my fingers and get someone to read this article, understand this, just educating consumers that the best way to get a mortgage. And once again, even if they go to Omega and you guys send it elsewhere, I feel good that I'm making an impact. One of our big company goals is how to save consumers $23 billion with a B over the next 4 years. And it's not about coming to UWM. It's about going to a broker, because every time you go to a broker, you save about $3,700 on the mortgage compared to a retail lender, right? So $3,700 is a big number. And it's like, how do I educate? And we want to save $23 billion for the American population by just educating them.
That's awesome, Matt. Matt, we thank you again for being such a good partner and pushing our industry into the spotlight, doing it the right way, giving us the tools every day to be successful. You've done an awesome job, and we appreciate you. Hands down, one of the best CEOs and presidents of any company that I know of. So thank you so much.
Taking the time out of the day to come do our little rinky-dink podcast.
Love it.
It's an honor to be with you guys. You guys are doing great yourselves. It's awesome to see what you guys are building over there. Proud to do the podcast with you. Thanks for having me on, and keep dominating.
Matt, thank you so much, man. Keep kicking ass. Man, I like that guy. You there?
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's always a treat having Matt on. I mean, he's always his energy's always so high. It's like he doesn't even really have to say anything. He'll just take the show. He answers the questions. He answers every question we ever give him, and he answers it he's not like it's like no, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to go, and I do this and I do that, right? And it's really, really impressive. So that's it, man. That's our show for the day. Do you got anything else to add? Nope.
All right. For those of you that have been listening, thank you so much for listening to us. Please go to irepodcast.com, or you can go to Facebook.com/IRE podcast. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify or any other podcast app that you might listen to. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell to not miss an episode. And if you listen to the show and you didn't like it up until now, then what do we say? Yeah, we'll just do that. Go F yourself. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Inside Real Estate. the nation's top real estate podcast. Don't forget to follow us at irepodcast.com and everywhere where podcasts are available.